Fremantle car culture is not just about the cars themselves, as beautiful as they are, the shapes, the colours, watching them cruise up and down the Cappuccino Strip. There's a lot of unique stories behind the cars themselves. Fremantle's full of personalities, and the car culture is just an extension of their personalities. It's the people and the stories that really bring the car culture to life. Each car has its own history, and each owner has its own unique relationship with the car.
Low rider, drives a little slower.
Yeah, good to meet you. How you going?
Good, thank you.
Hi, my name's Bob. I've got a 1967 HR Holden, which I call Nancy, the woman that left it to me in her will. She was my next door neighbour. I looked after her as much as I could in the earlier days, and I always wanted to buy it. She kept telling me, not going to sell it, going to leave it to my nephew. She told me that for many years. When I first found out that I'd inherited it, I wanted to chase up the keys, and Nancy didn't trust anybody, so she dug holes in the backyard and buried all the keys. No one knew where the keys were. You couldn't get into this thing, you know. And then the nephew finally come down. They managed to find some, but they've been in the garden in a plastic bag. They're all corroded. But we managed to unlock it. We got in, got the mate over with his tilt tray and got it down to my workshop. All I did was put a battery in that thing, poured some petrol down the carby, turned the key on, and it started. Running like a hairy goat, but it ran. My kids are fighting over now who's going to get it when I die, you know? It means a lot to me. I love the car. I loved old Nancy, the old woman that she was. So she's a great neighbour, and yeah, it was fantastic. It's Nancy, it's part of Fremantle, and I love it.
I'm Mark. This is my 1977 Ford F100. I work in Fremantle as a tattooer, and I have done for the last 13 years. I don't like to think about my life not having a ute, because it is so incredibly useful just being able to go out and pick something up if it needs doing. I can tow people out of messes they've got into, and I've been towed out myself by people with bigger trucks. And not just that it's formed part of my identity, but it's part of the way I function as a human now is being able to cart things around in my ute.
My name is Fernando Palomino. I'm one of the owners of Palomino Omnis Upholsterers, and this is one of our old collectible Volkswagen Beetles. It's an actual bus, deluxe. The business was started in about '68. It's my dad opened it up. We actually kept it for just memento of the old past, because it was like driving a bus in those days. You sit so high, you steer it like a bus. So we've kept it still licensed, and eventually we got not used to having it because it's only a 6-volt battery sort of system, so you always had problems with lighting when you were going distances. Sometimes we ended up going to Rockingham, and on the way back you miss the turn and you end up in Armidale. We actually bought this one here for about $500. That was would have been in the late '70s, early '80s, $500.
I think I'm going to get the shop in here, how much well, we paid $500 then.
Hi, my name's Leanne. This is my 1971 LC Tirana, and her name is Tirana Mark, and she's my pride and joy. Under the bonnet, she's got a 186 red motor, and it's been bought out to a 192. It's got a 350 Holly. It's got a nice big lumpy cam, electronic ignition, also has yellow Terra roller rockers, and front and rear sway bars, which makes it feel like you are actually in a go-kart. It's good fun. The reason that I love Tiranas so much is back when I used to go to the Perth Motorplex, I used to see Debbie O'Rourke race an LJ Tirana down the quarter mile, and something about seeing her that day inspired me, and I really wanted to own a little Tirana, and later on in life I got one. When I get in my Tirana, it just makes me feel free, makes me feel alive, like I've got no problems in the world. It's my happy place, a place where I can just be free.
My name's Mike Richardson. I'm an architect, and I'm sitting in what I call Tracer Mark III. I thought of building this vehicle because I used to go to university on a normal motorcycle, and as a result of getting wet and cold, I thought there must be a better way of doing this. So after I graduated and accumulated a bit of money, I decided to put my ideas into practice and designed and built this vehicle.
Yeah, I'm Victor, and this is my baby, Veronica. Yeah, she has a name. It's a 1973 MGB GT, one of only about 2,500 ever built, and she is a factory original. And yeah, I've had her since 2010. I drove her around Australia then, and she has been a good girl. My father was an artist, then he died young, and I always knew I had to go away. I come here about 15 years ago because I knew all about Fremantle, having visited it and all, and I knew that this was a place that I'd like to settle in. It's got the most wonderful beaches, and it just being positioned where we are. I love the isolation, the idea that we're one of the most isolated major cities in the world. I turn 60 next year, and I have no regrets. Yeah.